I felt that he wasn't even hearing me. He was just quoting something out of some textbook that he had heard. And so I stopped him and I said, do you know where I have been? No. Have you ever been in combat? No. Have you ever been in the military? No. He's working for the VA. He's working for the military. He's a psychologist that has obviously went to school. He says, well, I've had schooling. I've worked so many years doing with PTSD victims and so on and so forth. That's why I'm working for the military. But he's never been where I've been. And I told him, I said, you have no business telling me what I should or should not do. You haven't walked in my shoes. Yeah, I'm sure the book says something. But until you have felt what I'm feeling, until you understand or even comprehend what I'm going through, you have no business telling me what I should or should not do. Well, this morning we're about ready to go over and open up the chickens and get them fed. They like these things called mealworms, kind of like crack for them. They just really like them. Starts them off in the morning. We'll check our little baby chickens. We got 14 little baby chickens and a couple turkeys, and then about 3 or 4 guys are going to go do that, and then 3 or 4 guys are going to go feed our horse, Riella, and then we have to go to the backfield to check on the 4 cattle that we have and feed them and water them. All right.
Where's Grant and Devin?
I'm not waking people up.
Are they still down there asleep?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just let them sleep.
Let them sleep.
That's all right. All right.
I'll get them after me.
Okay. So you got a half an hour. Well, maybe I didn't. Oh, I got my phone on me today. So we got time. We got an hour and a half for our devotions and coffee and breakfast. So it is 5:52, getting a little bit of a late start, but that's all right. We got a little bit more light. So let's hurry as quickly as we can. You guys are going to be done a lot earlier than us because we got to walk all the way out to the field. And the girls are already starting breakfast, and we've got biscuits and gravy with sausage in it, bacon, eggs coming. So that should motivate some stomachs.
Yeah.
All right. All right. God bless, and we'll see you back for breakfast.
Good.
When you have a dream about something, Kim and I, when we were in South Carolina, and God began to show us what we were supposed to do, I envisioned something like this, and it became a drawing on a piece of paper. And then it became kind of a plan. And now you get to this level, and it's like, it's almost surreal. Like what happened to what we thought all the way back in South Carolina and Georgia is sitting in front of us. Yeah. And it's starting to take shape. BJ, come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come on. The long-term vision for Peace Mountain Ranch is that it becomes a place that people come to partake of what they need. Think of it like a refrigerator. When we are hungry or we are thirsty, we go to the refrigerator, we open it up, and we reach in there and we grab that something to drink or that piece of fruit or that sandwich or that steak or whatever it is that we want in that refrigerator. I want people, veterans, people in need, families of veterans, families of active duty people. It doesn't matter. When they come here, I want them knowing that they can't wait to get here to open up the refrigerator because they need A, or they need Z, or they need S. They just come and open the refrigerator. Yeah. Yeah, good girl. Here comes the big ones. Hey, Baldy. Hey, Baldy. Hey, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yep, he's going to come in. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. It literally is giving us the ability to keep the cows out here by themselves, but the backside pond doesn't always get a full flow of water. Back there's the pond, and it's a spring, so it's fed. It just isn't fed so forcefully that it's rushing, right? So it's probably not the best source of water for the cattle. So we try to get clean water from up there.
Oh, you're on.
Good power.
When did you start accepting people, and how many have you had?
So last year we had 23. This year we have already had, I think we're over 24 already. And this is May. That's kind of amazing. We haven't even advertised. We're having our grand opening in June 11th. We haven't even advertised one day. We've not put anything in the newspaper. People are just coming out of the woodworks to help and to be a part, and it's been amazing. These are just people that are just contacting, and we've had them from Georgia. Right now, the guys are from Albany, but we've had them from South Carolina, we've had them from North Carolina, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas. They say that their eyes have been opened to something different, that what they felt here, they were not expecting. They were not expecting what they, when they came here, that they were going to feel. Two, many of them say that when they came here, they were going through something in their life, and that had been lifted, or that had been changed, or they had a different view of it, or they had clarity of being able to go and make decisions in a different way. And that's exactly what Peace Mountain Ranch is about. People that are, I call it the fog, right? It's the fog of life is happening, and they can come here and the fog gets lifted, or the fog dissipates, and all of a sudden they can go, oh, that's what I need to do. If it's their own life, if it's their friend's life, it's about a job or whatever it's about, that's what they can do.
The sun just a little bit higher than this, but not much. Almost peeking over the top of the hill, and then it's gone again. That's the shortest day. And then the longest day in the second. Anybody like them?
So, in Johnson City is, it's kind of.
Showries?
There's the Song of Copperhead.
Well, so I really want people when they come, veterans and whomever, when they come, to really feel at home and at peace, and just that they can just relax and they can breathe. I want to create an environment like that, a home, the carriage house, every place that they will come and see and experience. So because I've been to places where you just kind of feel uncomfortable and you just feel like, okay, I'm kind of in the way, I'm kind of being a bother. I don't know if I can really do that or go there. And that's not what what I want, and because I want people to feel, comfortable and relaxed and invited and welcomed and warm and all those wonderful adjectives that describe, what people really, really want, and that's comfort and to feel welcomed.
Okay, here's Riella's. Remember, Riella likes her treats before she gets her scoop. Who's doing that today? You want to do it? Okay. So when you meet her at the thing, these go first. Who's going to give some hay? All right. There we go. I want you to stop for a second and just listen. Isn't that amazing? The birds. You don't hear cars. You hear nature. Hear the gobble. Turkey's talking. You hear the gobble? Mm-hmm. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. So in 2014, I had a massive collapse. And I had this wonderful counselor that they gave me right away. And I personally feel she saved my life. I was in a very, very dark place. I don't even remember much of a year during that time. But what I do remember is that she went on some training or something for like 3 months. During that 3 months, they gave me a different person, and it was this guy. And they said, at first I said I wasn't going to see anybody. I'm connected to her. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I'll talk to her by the phone or whatever. And they said, well, she's in a situation, she can't do that. So here's this other guy. Just talk to him. And as I was talking to him, throughout our conversation, he would use these words, "You just have to," and then he'd say what I had to do.
You can never fully understand what is going on inside of them. And to say that, you may think it's bringing them comfort, but it doesn't. They don't. They know that nobody can understand what they're going through. Stories are similar, experiences are similar. So, I listen, and I try to put myself in his situation, or try to see if he's being triggered, what's going on, if he's having anxiety, what's going on, if he's uncomfortable, is it something I can change, the environment or the surroundings or whatever. So it's just a lot of listening, a lot of putting yourself kind of in their shoes. But it just takes its time. And it may never go away. And it may change a little. Circumstances may change, and your environment may change, and so it may calm down a little bit. But it will always be there in one aspect or another.
And it just ground into my heart and my mind, and I just couldn't handle what he was saying. Not because of the suggestions, but that he was telling me what I needed to do. The next time I went there is a couple days later, same thing. By the third time I went to meet with this guy, he said it again, and he didn't. I felt that he wasn't even hearing me. He was just quoting something out of some textbook that he had heard. And so I stopped him and I said, do you know where I have been? No. Have you ever been in combat? No. Have you ever been in the military? No. He's working for the VA. He's working for the military. He's a psychologist that has obviously went to school. He says, well, I've had schooling. I've worked so many years doing with PTSD victims and so on and so forth. That's why I'm working for the military. But he's never been where I've been. And I told him, I said, you have no business telling me what I should or should not do. You haven't walked in my shoes. Yeah, I'm sure the book says something. But until you have felt what I'm feeling, until you understand or even comprehend what I'm going through, you have no business telling me what I should or should not do. You walk with me. Let me experience and work through what I need to work through, but you don't tell me what I'm going to do or what I should do or shouldn't do. Give me assignments, fine. Give me something I should work through, okay. But tell me that I should stop something, or I should stop doing this, or I should stop doing that. That's not your job. You haven't been where I've been. My brother, who bled with me and walked through the same mud with me, we can talk to each other like that because we've experienced the same stuff. But you haven't been with me. You haven't even experienced what I've experienced. And I walked out because I was so angry inside that someone who hasn't even been there had the audacity to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. And I never went back to the guy.
So I'm Jim Bogus. I spent 36 years in the Army, 24 of that on active duty. And before becoming a chaplain, I was enlisted for 6 years in the National Guard. And then I was an engineer officer and a transportation officer. And then I had a break when I went to become a chaplain, or went to seminary. And then because of 9/11, I came back on as a chaplain and spent another 10 years until I finally retired as a colonel. So that's my military background. On the civilian side, I have a master's of theological studies, a master of divinity, a doctor of ministry. I have 4 units of clinical pastoral education, which is what you are required to have to work as a hospital chaplain, to work in a hospital. And I also have a degree in strategic studies. So all of that comes together to help me to understand the military from private, because I've been to basic training. A lot of chaplains never went to basic training and enlisted basic training. I've spent time as an NCO, I've spent time as a line officer, I've spent time as a company commander. So I know what it's like to send people into battle. As a transportation officer in Iraq, there are no front lines. So when I sent my troops out the gate in that truck to transport stuff, they're getting blown up with roadside bombs just like everybody else was. So I've been there, I've done some of that stuff. As a chaplain, I supported mortuary affairs. So I knew what it was like to see those soldiers who were going home in a box. And I worked with the people who had to put the pieces together and put them in that box. And so I've seen the horrors of war. I've known people who have suffered tremendously because of the horrors of war. And so my heart aches for everyone who's ever had to go through that. And I want to see those who are having trouble dealing with that find hope and healing.
And one of the visions and dreams that he has for a program is that when family comes, he envisions a time when maybe instead of just veterans coming, it may be the spouses coming, or it may be the children coming, families coming. And that's where he has approached me more with, as you say, maybe being more invested in the conversations and stuff, is when they might be here, because that's what I lived through. And Harvey didn't live through that. He was on the other end. So for him to identify that way is a little bit difficult. But it's not difficult for us who lived here, who day in and day out went to our closets and opened up the doors, and there's our spouse's stuff all the time there. We're setting the kitchen table minus one plate. So everything was a constant reminder day in and day out that husband's not here or your spouse isn't here. Disciplining children, I've got to do this myself. The car breaks down, I got a flat tire, I need a windshield wiper changed. You know, those are things that now we had to take care of or find somebody to do, and it wasn't always the easiest. We second guessed sometimes. Is this the right person to go to, or who do I go to get this done? And so that was the stress that we were experiencing on the home front, besides having it on the news or in public speech or, you know, public places. You overhear conversations of, oh, did you just hear that this and this was attacked, or this, and it's like, you don't know where your spouse is. They may be there, because I wasn't told. He didn't call home every day and say, oh honey, by the way, I'm going here. I just didn't get phone calls for a couple of days. And then after he would get back and he goes, so yes, I was down in this war zone. And I was like, well, thank you for not letting me know, because at least I can just imagine you're safe tucked in your tent, and not driving in a convoy looking down and seeing a bomb right beside the door. That if you would have opened up the door and stepped out, you would have lost your life. So that's what we lived with at home. And I'd miss him terribly, and some people would say, well, it's just like he's he's just gone for a couple of weeks, or like an over the road truck driver. It's like, well, yeah, he's gone for that long period of time, but the over the road truck driver, yes, has to worry about stupid cars cutting him off and all that type of thing, or the dangers of the road. But most likely if they go to bed at night and put their head down at night, they can sleep. Whereas where our guys were, they lay their head down at night and they have to keep an eye open, an ear open, or whatever, because they got bombs flying over their heads. So it's a different scenario. It's not the same.
We understand that people can get to the point where they can feel hopeless, but they should never feel helpless. There should always be someone who can come alongside of them. Unfortunately, suicide is a big problem in the veteran community. They had that battle buddy, they had that person with them, that gave them, that was able to share hope with them, help them get back. But now that they're out, sometimes they, because they don't feel like they fit into society, having trouble adjusting, they often will gravitate to rural areas like this and kind of be off by themselves. And they need a place where they can find help so they can have their hope restored. And so I think that's probably the most important thing I'd like to see happen here, is that ability to reach those veterans and give them a place where they can come and have their hope restored and find the help they need so that they can start that healing process and have a purpose again. We've seen that a lot of veterans that spent 20 or 30 years in the military, their whole identity was wrapped up in who they were in the military, and then they kind of lose that identity when they get out. And if they can't find a new purpose, that can be very devastating. So we want to help them find that hope, find that healing, and get that new purpose in life. And so whatever we need to do here to get the word out, whatever facilities we need so they have a place to stay, that's what I want to see Peace Mountain Ranch grow into.
So the property would look like this, the ultimate down the road dream. We have horses, enough horses here that we can do some horse therapy with the individuals who need horse type of connection. We have cattle. The cattle are going to be here every year. There's going to be 4 to 5 head of cattle every year. We will have them growing here, and that is going to be the food that will be provided yearly and around the clock. Right behind me, there will be a 104-foot by 24 feet by 2 stories tall, with a balcony that literally walks right behind me over the top of the building, overlooking the arena that is right behind me, so that they can watch the roping or the riding or a couple of the rodeo type event. So we're talking about team roping and calf roping that'll be going on down here down in the future. So people can come and sit out on the balcony, or they can go down into the 4 ADA rooms. Downstairs will be 5 stalls, horse stalls, a commercial kitchen, and a commercial dining for the veterans and families that come. And then way back in the trees that's back there, there's going to be a log chapel and a kind of a connecting garden, a prayer garden, a meditation type of garden, just to be able to go and sit and reflect. That's back in the trees. Also back in the trees is going to be an archery course. Archery is an amazing thing that you have to be in body, soul, mind, and spirit for you to actually hit something. You got to calm yourself. You can't have high anxiety and shoot a bow because you're all over the place. You're shaking. You got to calm yourself to release that bow to hit something. Now, if it's 10 feet in front of you, you can hit it. But if it's 20 and 30 and 40 feet away, yards away, it becomes very difficult to do that if you're not calming yourself. So archer's a great thing to calm people down. Horses are great. We can, because we have our next door neighbor, Benny, and the lamb beside him and the lamb back behind us, his name's Bob. Benny and Bob are on the board. They are allowing us to use their property for trail rides. The horses will be here for therapy. The horses will be here for trail rides. All of this sets up an opportunity for people to glean and gain every need that they need. They open the refrigerator and they grab whatever it is that they need to be able to sustain their life for that moment and for the future yet to come.
I close my eyes and all the things that race in my head just go away for that, just a moment.
And talk with other veterans that have gone through the exact same thing they have.
Have y'all talked to the guy who lives up here on Iron Mountain? I think it's called Area 7.
Otherwise, it was 100 and...
Mm-hmm.